What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we have a head coaching update around Brian Flores. A new team is actually going to interview him to be their next head coach. And then Kevin O'Connell, is he getting extended? Is he getting traded? We got all types of reports on KOC, but let's start off with Flores here. If you guys want the Vikes to keep Brian Flores as the defensive coordinator, I know I do. I know a lot of you guys do as well. Just hit that thumbs up icon. Get the good mojo going. Maybe a member of Flores' family or maybe him himself comes across this video and he sees 1,000 likes. Maybe he'll just want to stay just a little bit more. But hit that thumbs up icon if you want to keep Flores as the DC. But Albert Breer, early on Wednesday morning, said Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores, Tuesday morning, will interview for the Jags head coaching job on Friday, per source. He also has interview requests from the Jets and Bears, with scheduling still to be worked on that. So that makes it 3 teams. Have requests in for Brian Flores: the Jets, the Bears, the Jags. Now, what we're hearing out of New York is that their number one guy is Aaron Glenn, but also the Saints really want Glenn. So I could see if the Jets miss out on Aaron Glenn here, they're going to pivot to Brian Flores. So I could see that being a case. But also an interesting note on the Chicago Bears. Now, I think they're going to do whatever they can to either get Mike McCarthy or Ben Johnson. But let's just say, maybe McCarthy goes to the New Orleans Saints, which they have some interest there. And let's just say Ben Johnson goes to the Raiders. That seems like that deal could be getting done here over the next couple of weeks. The Bears could be an interesting option because Brian Flores and Ryan Poles, they were teammates at Boston College, which obviously we know politics play a factor in this. And if you could hire one of your buddies, I could see it happening. So if the Bears do miss out on Ben Johnson, that's going to be their number one guy. Try to connect Caleb Williams with a young offensive genius in Ben Johnson. I could see Flores heading out to Chicago. So keep your eyes on that. That could play a huge factor into this. But this was a report I was talking about coming in from Josina Anderson, pretty much saying that the Saints and Jets are going to battle it out for Aaron Glenn. But if the Jets the Jets could want Flores if they do miss out on Aaron Glenn. He set the interview there. So honestly, an ideal situation for the Vikings would be like Aaron Glenn, or let's just say McCarthy goes to the New Orleans Saints. Ben Johnson goes to the Bears, and then the Jets will get Aaron Glenn. I think that would leave an option for Flores to return as the defensive coordinator. But one thing to keep in mind here, do not rule out Josh McCown following Flores to be his offensive coordinator. McCown, quarterback coach right now for the Minnesota Vikings. He even has an interview request to be the head coach of the New York Jets. So let's just say here, the Jets hire Flores. I could see them, Josh McCown, following Flores and being their OC. And then also another report connecting this whole Vikings trifecta to the New York Jets. They're interviewing Ryan Grigson, Vikings senior VP of player personnel for GM. And there was a very interesting conversation being filmed at a Vikings practice where it was Grigson and Flores talking after practice. Don't know what they were talking about, but what if it was the New York Jets job? Saying, hey, if you go there, I'm going there, and then let's take McCown with us. He'll be our OC, and we can turn that franchise around. So watch out for the New York Jets to possibly be like, Vikings of the East Coast or whatever you want to call it. But there's actually another, and this is terrible news, I must say. For us Vikings crazies out there, Grant Udinski, he is kind of a hidden gem on the Vikings coaching staff right now. Kevin O'Connell loves this guy. He's only 28 years old, and Garofalo reported this. The Seahawks have requested an interview with Vikings assistant OC/assistant quarterback coach Grant Udinski for their vacant offensive coordinator job. The 28-year-old Udinski has been a vital part of Kevin O'Connell's operation and clearly on the coaching fast track. I would hate this. This is like a hidden gem in the Vikings organization right now. They all love this guy, and I'll give credit to the Seahawks for finding this guy. But a lot of people like him, and he's 28 years old. Could you imagine your offensive coordinator being 28? That would be nuts. But I just had this thought that I want to get out there. Let's just take a positive look of the Vikings collapsing at the end of the season. What if this collapse down the stretch keeps this coaching staff together? Because I do think a big reason why the Vikings won 14 games, got to give credit to the players, but majority of it, I think, was the coaching staff. And you got Flores, McCown, Kevin O'Connell, of course. Like, this is an elite coaching staff we have. Maybe the collapse has people skeptical of hiring Flores. Maybe they don't want to take a chance on McCown, and maybe we keep this coaching staff together. I would absolutely love it. But speaking about Flores, be honest with me. How concerned would you be if the Vikings lost Brian Flores? Scale it for me, 1 to 10 in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts down below. Quickly, my answer to this would be an 8. I would be very concerned because everything I've been saying about the Vikings not being a physical team, at least Brian Flores offers that defensively. And, I think this group that we have on defense, I'd probably give it a B in terms of talent level, but they played like an A group. Now, would another defensive coordinator come in here and get the same production? I do not know, but I would be definitely very concerned if the Vikings missed out on Flores. Now, we'll talk about Kevin O'Connell getting extended here in a sec, but first, I got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. And if you guys download the app today, use promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today, use promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. And we got a big game Monday night. Ohio State taking on Notre Dame. And they actually have a sweet deal going on right now where just 1 passing yard from Will Howard will get you a win on PrizePicks. So I'm taking that. And then Riley Leonard, I'm going to take his less on his 167.5 passing yards. And then Jeremiah Smith, great receiver. I just think Notre Dame is going to give him all the attention this Monday night. So I'm going to take the less on his 80.5 receiving yards. But fade those picks, ride with those picks. Just do so at PrizePicks. And download the PrizePicks app today. Use that promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. Run your game. All right, are the Vikings going to extend Kevin O'Connell? Quick answer to this is yes. I fully expect a deal to get done this offseason. I don't know if it will be, within the next couple of weeks, or could this drag out to the summer, but I do want to go back a little bit. This was Sunday before the Lions game. Jay Glazer put out a story, and he says, surprise candidate on multiple teams' coaching candidates list. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell. He has 1 year remaining on his deal after the season, and a few teams have an interest in possibly trying to trade for him. Now, my biggest concern on this report is, one, Jay Glazer doesn't just say stuff for clicks. Like if that story came out from like a no-name reporter, I would have probably, been very skeptical of it. But since it was Glazer, this is real. But the question is, for this report, is who leaked this to Jay? Was it coming from another team? I really doubt that. I think this was coming from Kevin O'Connell's camp to send a message to the front office. And if that is the case, one, terrible move by KOC. This was coming out Sunday morning before the Vikings-Lions Sunday night game, winner take all for the number 1 seed, the NFC North crown, and you're putting that report out there the day of the game. And also KOC didn't come out and say, hey, this was not me. This is some BS. He never really said that. So I fully believe this came from Kevin O'Connell's camp, and I don't love it. But Mike Florio wrote up an article talking about KOC getting extended, saying beyond money, O'Connell could be looking for more say in roster construction, for better alignment with the general manager, for a situation where he'll have more of what he needs to put together a team that can get both to the playoffs and win when the postseason arrives. If there's an impasse, the Vikings will have to choose between 1 more year and no compensation on the back end and listening to the teams that might be calling about Kevin O'Connell. I think this has very little chance of happening. And, I think when he's talking about like the GM and the coach being aligned, they are perfectly aligned, because I think the whole plan this whole time, after you decided to let Kirk Cousins walk, we said, hey, we're going to front load a lot of these extensions. We're going to get a lot of guys in this upcoming free agency period, like they did with Grenard, like they did with Van Ginkel. Then we're going to get a rookie quarterback, develop him for 1 year, and then hopefully year 2, he can hit the ground running with an absolute stacked team around him. So I don't think there's any chance Kevin O'Connell leaves. I'm not buying into this report. But again, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. And even just thinking about what a trade package could look like for Kevin O'Connell, I would assume it would start at 2 first-round picks. I mean, I wouldn't consider that in a heartbeat, but how about this? I'll ask you guys this. Let's just say a team does throw out their 3 first-round picks. F it. They're sending you 3 first, maybe a second in there as well. Would you consider this trade for Kevin O'Connell? 3 first-round picks. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down below in the comments section. I cannot wait to see what you guys have to say about that question. Now, I'm also on Twitter. The handle is at Pat Sieps. Give me a follow over there, and I'll give you guys a follow right back. Thank you guys so much for watching today's show. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.